For the top. Well, happy beautiful Tuesday to you from Belize. And what are we listening to today? Well, you are listening to Belize Talk Radio, and I am your host, Macarena Rose. You know what? We're always in some part of Belize doing a wonderful, beautiful show. And, you know, this is like another day because we've never done a show here. We're at actually our airport, at the Belize main airport, which is in Ladyville, not Belize City. And I thought it would be fabulous for us to speak with Corry again because I heard the listeners write and tell us about the show. They loved it. Even, you know, Corry's son heard it on the two-story decker, the double-decker bus in New York City. So we want to make sure we have more entertainment with this, right?
Right, Margaret.
Corry McDermott, you are such a trip. You are just so entertaining. You don't even work at it, do you?
No.
It's in the Irish blood, isn't it?
That's correct.
I agree. We just show up, don't we? And who knows from there what else is going to happen, right?
This is the beginning of the history of the country of Belize and some of the things that myself and my wife Janet have gone through over the last 40 years and have enjoyed it immensely. And so what we're going to be doing is you're going to be asking the questions, and I'll try to fill them in as best I can. And I'll try not to wander off too much because I have at least 6 more hours of interviews that I can tell about this fascinating country and the adventures we've had in Belize. Some good, but mostly very, very good.
I have to say,
I was
Corry.
going to say some are bad, but not too many, thank God.
Well, and also, they may not be ready for radio, so some of them will have to bleep.
All right.
But I do have to say...
I'll try to keep that out of the system.
Okay, we'll keep it clean. You know what's really funny is that, to me, is that you have just lived your life in a fully present way, amazing, and your stories are just outrageous, and you're an author. You've done so many different things, you know, in developer and real estate tycoon, but let us go back to the beginning. Where did you grow up? And then take us to the time that you got to meet Janet.
All right. Quickly, I was born in the town of Quincy, Massachusetts, where our fourth president, John Quincy Adams, came from. I went to the Jesuit High School at Boston College High. I then left at age 16. I graduated and became a magazine salesman at the age of 16 in New York City.
Whoa, in New York City.
They said, no, you can't do it. And I said, no, I'm going to show you I can. I even met on Long Island at Montauk Point the president of Reynolds Tobacco, whereby on a Saturday morning his wife comes to the door with a Great Dane and a Chihuahua pup. And they said, come in, how can we help you? And so we got to talking, and I told him that I was thinking of going to Yale University, which is where my brother Jerry, who has been lived on this island for many, many years. Anyway, he said, well, he's a Princeton man. So his dear Irish sister will make him Boilermakers. That's where you put a slug of whiskey in a big glass of beer. And after about 3 of those, his wife said, come help me find, she's in a blue negligee, said, come help me find my dog, he's under the bed. So here I am going under the bed, find the dog.
Beep, beep, beep.
I don't think much of chihuahuas. They nip at me. Anyway, so we come back, and she's writing a check to her daughter and the daughter's friend, who's a black girl going to school with the daughter. And so the wife kept saying, well, how much? You know, this is when subscriptions were $3 a subscription for a whole full year. And so anyway, he kept saying, okay, how many? Well, I just have a couple more. Well, by the end of it, the conversation, I had him write me a check for $156. Now, figure that out and figure it in. Well, when my manager came around to pick me up for lunch, he said, you've been drinking. I said, no goody.
No beep, beep, beep.
No beep, beep. So I take the pack, which is a full pack of 14 He says, you can drink anytime. But anyway, after that, then I went back to Boston and went into the Society of African Missions. I was going to become a missionary Catholic priest in the Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia, but after 2 years, and it was an Irish organization that came from Ireland and set up outside of Boston, Massachusetts. And so after 2 years, the rector said, Mr. McDermott, we feel that you like girls better than being a celibate for the rest of your life. So I said, okay,
that was
that's
fair.
fine. And so then I went to work as a display man for John H. Bray, a big furniture company, making $27.50 a week. And at night, I was teaching dancing for Furnished Studios for $2 an hour. And after these large, women standing on my feet to harbor lights, I helped some people drive a car out to Texas, and I got in the oil business and roughnecking. And then I went in the Coast Guard for a couple of years, came back to the University of Texas, ended up with starting with petroleum geology, but ending up with economics, but with a minor. What's interesting is I had a minor in anthropology, and one whole semester was on the Mayan culture. So here I come, 40, 50 years later, and I'm on this island with 20 different Mayan ruins, and my wife Janet and I go ahead and we helped Dr. Pendergast and his wife Liz Graham unearth 10 of those about 22 years ago.
Wow.
They put all the artifacts in my bodega until they were ready to bring them to the Belizean Museum, where you can see them on display. Janet and I helped unearth about a 2.5, 3-foot skeleton in an in situ position. Could have been a little woman or a little man, but the Mayans are a little smaller in stature than others.
And where was this that you found the skeleton?
This is called Marco Gonzalo site.
Oh.
It's approximately 4.5 miles south of San Pedro.
Yes.
We are now developing, we've had over 500. A gal named Jan Brown has taken up where for 20 years it lay dormant.
Wow.
And we have an architect from Puerto Rico now designing a visitors visitors building, and we're going to have a caretaker and then a museum on site.
That's a great idea.
And so out of all 20, and incidentally, this Marco Gonzalo was in National Geographic's front page at the end of it of the 5 countries that they did the tour of the Maya all over Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and Belize.
Oh.
And here's a little thing called Marco Gonzalo, which was a little native boy that showed Dr. Pendergast where it was.
And they named this site after him.
Named it after Marco Gonzalo. And as you go in, you might be swampy around, but as you go in, it's like New England. It's about 15, 20 feet high with these different sites. And it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Next time we have to go. We have to go. You know what? We could do a show there. Yeah. Stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial. Wait. We're going to
You want to know how Janet and I
We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, you tell us about Janet. You're listening to Belize Talk Radio. I'm your host, Macarena Rose. We'll be right back on the Overseas Radio Network.